Hi everybody, this is Mary Virginia Kaufman and welcome to the big picture of allergic rhinitis. Adaptive immunity evolved as a method of giving our bodies a wonderful flexibility to respond to new specific antigens. As we saw through this project, allergies are one form of an adaptive immune response. The innate immune system responds immediately in a nonspecific fashion to invaders, but the adaptive immune system takes a little bit to get going. Once it's primed, though, it's armed and ready to take on potentially dangerous antigens, like sentries at the door. While some antigens trigger the quick action of the innate immune response, allergens lead to a response from the adaptive immune system. The adaptive immune system begins to think that certain molecules are pretty shady characters, but won't act until they are sure. This is why we might not have a reaction to grass pollen or cats or dust mites initially, then one spring day, or on a visit to a friend's house, we seem suddenly to be overcome with sneezes, itchy eyes, and a drippy nose. The IgE antibodies have been primed by the primary response to be ready for the second, or third, or 100th exposure. Allergic responses of IgE production can get worse over time depending on the genetic predisposition of the individual's immune system. See the optional extras for more on this. But why in the world did our bodies evolve to have this crazy immune response to apparently innocuous and ubiquitous environmental protein particles? Well, this continues to be a matter mostly of speculation. Melinda Moyer wrote an article for the Scientific American in 2012 illuminating what is being explored by allergy experts. She explains that type 1 immune reactions take down pathogens such as viruses or bacteria, and they will destroy human cells invaded by them. Many believe that type 2 reactions, allergic reactions, however, may have evolved in response to large parasites. The idea is that rather than killing them directly, the system girds its proverbial loins by strengthening the protective response to fight them more effectively over the long term. Other medical researchers reject this idea, saying that the proteins from parasites and allergens are nothing alike. Instead, Moyer reflects that these other researchers believe that allergies are a response to keeping toxins and dangerous environmental irritants out of our systems. Mucus traps the invader, sneezes expel the invader-infused mucus, itching makes you scratch and, in effect, wipe it away, and so on. On the other hand, a Discover magazine article, see Wilcox 2013, describes that Yale scientists think the allergen itself might have been harmless, but was associated with something else that was harmful in the same physical location. Or perhaps, over the millennia, allergies formed to protect us from eating plants that were dangerous. Having a reaction near them would assure that we wouldn't eat them. There is also a thought that allergies are the body's means of self-inoculation, or immunotherapy, against potentially toxic substances. Marichal Thomas and several colleagues presented in their 2013 paper a beneficial role for immunoglobulin E in host defense against honeybee venom, that mice injected with a tiny dose of bee venom equivalent to 1 or 2 stings will subsequently be able to handle a potentially lethal dose through an allergic reaction. The previously injected mice who now had primed IgE antibodies were 3 times more likely to survive. They tested their theory using Russell's vipers as well, which sounds terrifying to me, and found that their theory continues to hold water. Yet, as Moyer says in the Scientific American article, some people have allergies, sometimes terrible allergies, and many people don't have any at all. It is clear that atopy can be a genetic inheritance, as our Gould's textbook describes. Those who suffer from allergies might have inherited a genetic mutation that causes an overstimulation of IgE antibodies and therefore display all of the symptoms of allergic rhinitis. Perhaps others with lower-grade allergies inherited a heterozygous gene mutation on only one of the chromosome pairs, where those who really suffer inherited a homozygous mutation on both. Or perhaps there are other genetic mutations that weaken some of the body's immune defenses, and so it is adaptive for the body to have another, somewhat overprotective, response mechanisms to environmental stimulants. However, many wonder why modern humans seem to have such pervasive, terribly bad allergies. One thought is that our exposure as young children can prime the body early to have a rational immune response to environmental triggers, and that we're simply not properly exposed anymore. For example, Bertrand Sudra and his colleagues explained in 2009 that children raised on farms where they were routinely exposed to grass pollen indoors and out were significantly less likely to suffer from grass pollen allergies. Others hold up the hygiene hypothesis, that modern life is simply too clean. These researchers are exploring whether early life exposure to viruses, bacteria, and other environmental immune stimulants sets up our immune function such that it appropriately responds to potential allergens. See the 99th Dallam Conference on Infection, Inflammation, and Chronic Inflammatory Disorders, Farm Lifestyles and the Hygiene Hypothesis in the resources. Thank you for learning about allergic rhinitis. Remember to go to the optional extras section for a more in-depth understanding.